Hello everybody, Xney here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the whole Meet Your Match update and like all this huge like shitstorm or whatever you want to call it that's come out of like the community since then. So the Meet Your Match update came out and it replaced quick play and Valve pubs with a casual mode, introduced competitive into the game with a slew of balance changes, tweaks to weapons and classes and things like that. And there's been a lot of good that's come out of it, and there's also been some bad. So let's focus on the good first. Casual mode is a lot of fun, and it gives me, and I guess a lot of people, a reason to play pubs, because before it would be like you just sit in a server and you keep playing, you just go into the next map, there's no real progression, and the adding of ranks gives a lot of, I don't know, I feel like it gives something to work for when you play casual, because before no one focuses on the objective, and it does create an environment more tuned to getting people to be more into competitive. Now, casual does have its problems, we'll get to those. The addition of competitive was also an amazing thing. It shows that Valve is trying to increase its support of the competitive scene, which is something that we've all wanted for a really long time. I mean, even if you're just like someone who only pubs or only trades, you still should be excited for, you know, competitive being bigger, because it'll eventually drive more people into the community once a lot of the problems have been ironed out. Some of the balance changes are interesting. I mean, Spy being faster and a lot of things. But let's talk the bad, because this update did have a lot of problems. Let's start with those. Casual has no rewards for these ranks. So maybe, you know, just like a crate drop every level you get. Make crates tied to that. I mean, you know, crate drops aren't important or anything, but, you know, give us something for the progression. Other than that, it's meaningless other than getting a fancier coin, which I like getting a fancier coin, but I know with a lot of people they want something more than that. It already has gotten an update fixing a lot of the huge major problems, like the insanely long wait times and stuff like that. There are problems with hackers and other things like that, but Valve has said they are working on that, and I'm glad that they are communicating that with us, and I think that's an amazing thing. Now with competitive, there is a slew of problems. I mean, the mode isn't perfect. There are a huge amount of problems, and force settings, you know, view models, even though they've made a post on this one too saying what they want to change and like how they want to change it. So, but the biggest problems are hackers, force settings, and no real sense of placement in the game. Everyone's starting at level 1. I've been on teams where like we've been completely rolled by one vaccinator or medic comboed with a heavy, and everyone goes in one on at a time and dies, and no one knows how to focus down. And the heavy is really the strongest thing in this, because in a lot of teams they're disorganized. He can just walk in and take 1v1s and win, because, you know, he's a heavy with a medic shoved up his butt. Besides that, hackers is a big problem too, and just a huge, not a huge, but like a generally, you know, big slew of problems, and I'm hoping Valve does a lot of fixing on these. Now, the Iffy are like the buffing and all that. Like the Sydney Sleeper got buffed, which I am all for, because I love the Sydney Sleeper. It's probably my favorite weapon for sniper, as I've said in a few other things, because it does increase his ability to be a team player. I just think they may have gone too far in buffing it. The Bison buff is a bit weird. I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to take these weapons that nobody will ever use in like a competitive format and make them somewhat viable by making the Bison's damage more average, more like on average it'll do more damage, but it won't do insane amounts of damage. It makes it a bit better in general situations, but it's still like the Bison. That's never going to change. They changed the miniguns like the Natasha and the Brass Beast, giving damage buffs all the time to only giving damage buffs at half health, which is nice, because an overhealed heavy getting a, you know, a damage reduction is insanely difficult to deal with in certain situations, because like I don't want to deal with a Brass Beast heavy who's spun up just sitting there. Like, he's just going to take so much damage to kill, and he's probably got a medic, you know, shoved up in there. And that's not really fun to play against. But the way they've reworked it is a bit awkward and, like, difficult to judge and gauge, I guess. The medic buffs are insane. Like, the whole matching Scout's movement speed really takes away one of the things the Vaccinator was most powerful, and like take away one of the Vaccinator's like greatest bonuses of being able to move with the Scout. And, you know, the Vaccinator also lost a bit of its charge speed, making it a bit less powerful than it used to be. Granted, also with the charge, yeah, you know, you're being healed really fast, but if you get focused down or if you run into a sticky trap, you're still dead. So quick fix is in a weird place, but it's always been in like a weirdest place. Other things that I think are kind of, I don't know, this whole like past while since the update came out has been, people have been making rant videos on why they don't like this update. People have been on like r-TF2 just shitting on everything about this update, and I do agree with the points that are being made, like these modes need to be changed, yes, but I know there's probably people have already talked about this, but you know, I just kind of want to get it off my chest. This is why I haven't been like doing stuff that much recently. I wanted to mostly talk about the new demo changes, which I really love because I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. But it's just me. I want to know, what do you think like about all this? I mean, there have been millions of people making their opinion known on this, and I didn't really want to say anything about it, but I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about it. I like this update as a whole. I think it has a lot of potential to make the game a lot better, as long as Valve keeps updating on it. And from what we've seen with like the blog posts, I have a lot of faith in them to keep updating this. That's just me though. Maybe you think that like Valve is the worst company ever, and yeah. And like the whole argument that some people have made that's all about money is like, look at what Valve has, like CSGO and Dota and, you know, Steam itself. They don't need TF2 for money. If they were only updating it for money, they would have cut the game a long time ago, because compared to the other things they make, it doesn't make nearly as much. If everyone in CSGO and Dota spent $1, and then everyone in TF2 spent $1, that's like maybe 70,000 coming from TF2, compared to like a total of like over 1 million from Dota and CSGO. It's a big difference in the number of money, so I don't think that's a very legitimate argument, and yeah, that's my thought on that issue. Maybe you think differently, I don't know. Whatever you think about it, leave it in the comments. I'm gonna have more stuff coming out soon. I just wanted to get this all off my chest, so yeah, stay classy, and don't hate me.